There was a day unlike any other in human history. A day when heaven didn't stay silent. A day when the earth itself trembled because God came down. The people of Israel had just escaped slavery in Egypt. They had seen miracles, plagues. The sea split in two. They thought they had already witnessed the power of God, but they had no idea what was about to happen next. They camped at the foot of a mountain called Mount Sinai. At first, everything seemed normal, but then the sky began to change. Dark clouds rolled in thick and heavy. A strange silence fell over the camp. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Then suddenly, a sound, low at first, like a distant horn. But it didn't stop. It grew louder and louder and louder until it was no longer just a sound. It was a force, a trumpet blast that shook the air itself. The people froze. Their hearts pounded in terror. And then, fire, the top of the mountain erupted in flames. Not ordinary fire, but something alive, something divine. Smoke rose like a furnace, thick and overwhelming, covering the entire mountain. The ground began to shake, not gently, but violently. The earth trembled beneath their feet, as if it could no longer bear the weight of what was happening, because at that moment, God had descended, not in silence, not in softness, but in power, glory, and fire. Then he spoke, not a whisper, not a thought in the mind, a voice so powerful. It felt like it tore through the sky. I brought you out of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. Every word echoed like thunder. Every syllable carried authority. Obey me, and you will be my treasured people. The people couldn't move. They couldn't think. They could barely breathe. This wasn't just hearing God. This was experiencing him. The fire, the smoke, the shaking ground, the deafening trumpet. And above it all, that voice. It was too much, too holy, too powerful, too real. Fear overwhelmed them. They turned to Moses, their leader, the one who spoke with God. Their voices trembled as they begged him, "Please, you speak to us instead. Let God not speak to us again. We cannot survive it." Imagine that moment. A people who had just been rescued by God, now terrified to even hear his voice, because they realized something most of us forget. God is not small. God is not casual. God is not something to be taken lightly. He is holy. Moses stood before them and said, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you, so that the fear of him will keep you from sin." But even Moses stood in awe, because this was no ordinary encounter. This was the creator of heaven and earth, revealing himself in raw, unfiltered glory. The mountain burned, the trumpet roared, the earth shook, and the people learned the truth that would echo through generations. The voice of God shakes mountains, and no human can stand before him on their own. That day wasn't just about fear. It was about revelation. It was about understanding who God truly is, not just a deliverer, not just a helper, but the Almighty, the one whose presence turns mountains into fire, the one whose voice commands the universe, the one before whom even the earth trembles. And yet, the same God chose them, called them, loved them. But on that day, at the foot of a burning mountain, Israel didn't just see God, they felt him, and they never forgot it. What would you do if you heard the voice of God like that? Would you stand, or would you fall in fear?